Right, so I just had a really interesting experience, how to say, in order to get this piece of water here. So, of course, some things in China work a little bit different, and one of them I just experienced, which is maybe about a bit more of a sensitive topic, and this just happened. So I want to record this video in order also to a little bit to record my own emotional state or sense of what just happened. So I was thirsty after walking on this way, which by the way is very crowded today, and in the back you see Hong Kong, which maybe has a little bit to do with what I'm now talking about, because Hong Kong obviously is a place that's very different from mainland China, and some of the topics that we have here in China are around, for example, the usage of technology and whether or not China is kind of going a little bit too far in this regard, right? And that has to do with, for example, social credit, mobile payment, face detection, and so on. So first, when I walked up to this vending machine, which is automatic, I tried this little touch screen, which I'm showing you this footage here of this vending machine right now. I couldn't use because that is actually for face recognition, and maybe that's just working with a mainland account ID. I'm not sure, maybe I just haven't set it and configured it yet. Anyways, there was no way that I can use this facial recognition in order to either open it or to pay for the bottle of water, basically. Instead, what I've done is then, of course, well, by the way, there was a guy just working on filling up the machine, so he could help me a little bit, but my next attempt was basically using Alipay or WeChat Pay in order to open it. And what it's usually doing is you have this little QR code which you scan, and then there's a mini program which is basically an app inside of, let's say, Alipay or WeChat Pay. Inside of Alipay or WeChat, I should say, which is enabling then like an e-commerce type of checkout experience where you can usually order products and then use Alipay or WeChat Pay to pay for it. Now, with this machine, it worked a little bit different because it's kind of a self-service, fully trust-enabled experience, that I should say. So what is it doing is it's basically just opening the machine for you, the door, and then you basically take out anything you like within this vending machine. You don't even have to pick what you're getting in the mini app and have to check out. No, you just physically take out what you want and then close the door again, and afterwards it will basically pay what you, or deduct the payment from your account, right? And so I first tried WeChat Pay, and I'm not using WeChat Pay that often right now, because maybe you followed me on my Twitter, and by the way, my Twitter is _mm85. I'm not using WeChat Pay too often because it's currently not allowing me to link one of my Chinese bank accounts, and also not my foreign credit card, which is an issue by itself, because foreigners here have a very hard time to actually get the mobile payment up and running, and it's the only thing that really works here in China in order, if you want to get around, basically for everyday services like buying stuff, getting a cab, or whatever you need it. And so luckily I have several Chinese bank accounts, and I have Alipay and WeChat Pay, and I can switch around. And well, the matter of fact is that I don't have much money in my WeChat account because I'm not really using it, and I have also not a long recent transaction history, I would say. Well, I might have some, but maybe not extensive enough for what's happening next, because the second I used WeChat Pay for opening the door of the vending machine, it said like, oh, my credit is not enough to open this door, because my wallet didn't have enough money on it, just maybe a couple of yuan, so really, really low. And also possibly because I didn't have a very long transaction history which could prove that I'm credit worthy. So I do think it has a little bit to do with the topic of let's say, social credit or credibility history. And certainly it's about trust, because basically you can take out everything you want from this machine. So basically, if you open the door, you could take out everything that's inside, right? It's a little bit different to the vending machines that we have in the West, because we don't have those type of opening mechanisms. At least I haven't seen them. Oh, now it's going to get a bit crowded here and a little bit loud, in case you're wondering. Anyways, I couldn't use WeChat Pay for opening that door. It basically left me out, and that's creating this feeling of, you know, if you don't have a sort of verification, social status or credit, it can indeed leave you out of some of the services that are usually accessible to everyone, right? And well, in this case, it didn't work with WeChat Pay, but I then did Alipay, which I have lots of money on, and I have my credit cards linked and my other Chinese bank accounts, and yeah, I could just open the door with it, take out that drink, and then basically it was deducted automatically from my balance. And I closed the door and walked away. And so this is a fully trust-enabled payment experience here, with featuring technologies like face recognition, but also mobile wallets. That is kind of different from the West, right? And also very different from yeah, what we usually have as an experience. And this is a little bit unique to China here. And it's interesting that, for example, yeah, this may exclude some people, let's say maybe from migrant workers, more remote areas and so on, that do not have such kind of credit in order to be able to open this vending machine. And this may be just an example, because there could be other services that work in a similar fashion, right? And this is kind of showing us kind of the power that we're handing not only to financial institutions, but also in a way, well, in a way, this is not even about the state, but and government, because of course this is not a vending machine provided by the government, and this wasn't the idea of the government, but it's happening in other occasions where you know, there's a social consensus, but also a tech provider and government consensus, which is ultimately setting the rules and the experience, and who can participate and who cannot. So in a way, this is kind of the hidden mechanisms behind it, which is worth discussing, and in some ways might be very critical. And the technology is in one way very advanced, very unique, can be a good experience, can be very convenient, but on the other hand, of course, you know, what we've experienced with the, let's say for instance, the pandemic, where I personally had the experience in Germany, you know, people couldn't enter restaurants if they didn't show a QR code, for example, or, you know, could be anything else in the future. But I think this is where it's important to discuss what technology can bring into our lives, and yeah, what kind of kind of a common sense we want to find in the end here. Wow, it's getting really crowded here in Shenzhen. And yeah, so this is just my little experience that I wanted to record. Thank you guys for watching. I think I'm not sure if you can even still understand me. Maybe I'll show you a little bit more around. I'm now on my way to a restaurant, meeting some other investors there, and Miriam. And this is live from Shenzhen, where today it's very crowded as a public holiday. But of course, this is also a very, very nice area to be around here. So I can say I certainly find this type of technology and ideas behind it very exciting and interesting. But on the other hand, I'm of course also arguing and trying to discuss what will this introduce to our lives. Is this a brave new world, or is this great and convenient? Let me know in the comments what you think about it. I'm excited to hear your ideas. Thanks for watching. Live from Shenzhen, China. See you in the next one.